Hi everybody, David Halloran, and as promised, Salma and I are going to shoot some videos to help 6th through 12th grade parents and guardians of our scholars navigate our new traffic pattern safely. Please note that the videos you're about to see pertain to arrival roughly between 7:30 and 7:50 a.m. when there's the largest amount of vehicular traffic on our campus. The new traffic pattern is designed to allow for easier flow, to prevent bottlenecks, and also to ensure our students are being dropped off curbside in a safe manner, not having our students have to dart across traffic areas. So please be mindful of the signage. We do not expect people to be going through do not enter signs. We expect everybody to comply with the traffic signs that may be temporary. Some might be not in an ideal location because there is still ongoing construction, but we're pretty confident that we will have a safe traffic flow. And we really ask that you pay attention to these videos, and accompanying these videos will be a nice map of our campus that shows the new traffic pattern. You'll be able to study it online, and also we have 6 different scenarios that you'll be able to study depending on where you're coming from, whether you're coming up from Lincoln Street from the city or whether you're coming up from Route 29A, and whether you're dropping off high school students only, middle school students only, or a combination of both. These videos should hopefully help provide some clarity so that when you come Tuesday morning you know exactly what you're going to do. We look forward to seeing all of our scholars on Tuesday morning, and we hope you have a great Labor Day weekend. Thank you. Okay, parents and guardians, so when you're driving up Lincoln Street from the city and you have high school students to drop off, the quickest and easiest way to get up to the campus and get out of here is to make this immediate left-hand turn. Obviously, Lincoln Street will be a two-way road, so there could be cars coming. You yield to oncoming traffic. So you're going to pull in here, and you're going to take this immediate right-hand turn into the student drop-off loop. Now, as you can see, the construction is still going on. There will be a fence separating it, so our loop is not complete yet. But up here on your right, you'll see a area that is bumped out for the purpose of dropping off your students. The gentlemen are still pouring concrete today, but come Tuesday, this will be done. While that fence is up, you'll be dropping off roughly right here. When you have your child will walk that sidewalk to the front of the building. And when this loop is complete, we're looking at possibly opening one of these doors so that the walk into the building is shorter, especially in inclement weather. So that loop will be much easier, but for the time being, after dropping off your child, you will come around here. You see the arrow right there, and you are going to go through this lot. There will be parking for students who have cars on both sides. You're not going to worry about the yellow paint because that's from an old design, and we will repaint this lot when we are finished. But for now, all these construction vehicles will not be here. This will just be parking, 2 rows, 1 on each side for students. We've asked our staff to park in the other side of the building, so you will be able to come down, and after dropping off your child, re-enter the city. If you do not have any high school kids, you take a right here on Lincoln Street, and you're off the campus. Now, if you have high school students and middle school students, you will do what we just did there. And again, traffic, you have a stop sign here, and you yield to oncoming traffic both ways. This is if you have a middle school student as well as a high school student. If you only have a middle school student, obviously you will continue this way and not go into the bus loop. So now you're headed this way if you've either dropped off a high school student and you have a middle school student, or if you only have middle school students. So here's part of our biggest changes. You'll see that the loop gradually goes to the right. To the left here, that is a one-way, and you are not allowed to enter that area. That is a drop-off for people coming from Route 29. So we're going to stripe this before Tuesday. There's no sidewalk on this, so this is not an area to drop off students. There's traffic moving both directions, and you're going to move through here. So as you come up to this area, you'll notice a lot more curves and bump outs. That is intentional in order to slow traffic down. This is a school with kids being dropped off, staff going in the building. We do not want people driving too quickly. This parking lot off to our right is a staff parking lot only, and it is a event parking for soccer games, track meets, etc. Staff parents and guardians should not be dropping off students in this lot. We will have police presence to ensure people are not taking rights, and we do not want people going left here either. That drop-off area is for cars coming off of 29A, and there's oncoming traffic, and if you're sitting where I am right now, you will be bottlenecking traffic behind you, defeating the entire purpose. So we do not want cars taking the left-hand turn where I'm sitting right now. So I'm going to continue on. So if you have that middle school student, you would come straight through. There will not be a stop sign where I just stopped. You will be allowed to just continue on straight. So we're hoping to alleviate bottlenecks, provide opportunities for people to continue moving. This fence will obviously not be here, so you will not have to come out as I am. This is going to be remained blocked as it has in years past for buses only. You will come down to the middle school, and nothing has changed from this point forward. We'll come on down here where we have our middle school drop-off. Obviously this area here is not changed. There is a crosswalk here, and we would recommend that people go through the parking lot and drop off the safest way possible, closest to the curb in the middle school, as we have in previous years. Staff members will be parking in the spots here as they are today, Superintendent's Conference Day, and there will be more parents dropping off. And this is an area that maybe it's not ideal. We know that people are often dropping students off closer to the road, double parking. It's not ideal, but this is the area that we ask parents to drop off their students for the middle school. So that has not changed, and once you've dropped off your middle school students, you obviously have the opportunity to exit the campus in 3 different directions. You can go back through Lincoln Street the way we just came. You can go down Lincoln Street to Route 29, or you can obviously head back up and exit via Spring Street. So now we are showing the perspective of parents and guardians who are bringing their children to the middle school and high school via the 29A entrance. So we're headed up the hill here on the west side of the middle school. Obviously, first day, first week of school, and really throughout the school year, there's a number of cars at the arrival and dismissal time. So I'm going to show you what you would do if you were dropping off students just at the high school coming up Route 29A. So you would enter this bottom part. This is considered Lincoln Street West. You'll notice the middle school's off to your right, and there will be obviously people looking to get back into this route. So picture what I'm doing with obviously more cars on the road, but moving slowly through the campus. And this is if you're coming from Route 29A and dropping off a high school student. If you have a high school student and a middle school student, you would obviously go through the loop at the middle school, come back down where we just passed, and re-enter Lincoln Street headed east like we are now. So this is all the same as it's been. It should look familiar to parents and guardians who brought students to campus in past years. Stop sign for this crosswalk. Okay, so again, this fencing is going to be down. This is going to be open. The sod's still not going to be in, so the dirt you see in between is still going to be there. So now this is what is different. Again, there's no stop signs here moving forward. If I am going to drop off a student coming from Route 29A, I am going to make this turn into this parking lot to the right. So that is what I'm doing right here. And you have all this area along the curb in front of the high school to drop off students. It is fine if you're able to do it in anywhere that I am driving by right now. But obviously, in the interest of creating room for those behind you, pulling up where I am now, just past the high school main entrance, would be advantageous. Where the cameraman is, Osama, right now, ideally to have your students getting out of that vehicle, out of the passenger seat or out of the rear passenger seat. Curbside is the safest way for them to exit the vehicle, be on the sidewalk, and enter the school. So once your child is out of the car, you have, again, two choices. You can come out of this parking lot, and there will be stop signs here. This is through traffic both ways, so there's a stop sign, and cars have the right of way in either direction. You can take a right and head down into the city via Lincoln Street east, or you can return the direction you just came, which is what I'll do now. And as long as there's no vehicles coming, you can take a left back onto Lincoln Street headed west. So the new design, we think, is going to take a little time for people to get used to, but it was designed with the intent of making drop-off for our high school as safe as possible. We're not going to have cars blowing through do not enter signs and breaking basic traffic laws. And as I said, this left-hand turn, unless you are going into park to visit your principal or to park because you work here, we do not want parents dropping off students if they're coming from Lincoln Street from the city. We do not want them using this left-hand turn because it will create a bottleneck for those following behind us. If you miss your child's bus loop on the east side of the high school, that's something that we're going to ask people to really be mindful of, that we really need parents and guardians dropping off high school students to use the east bus loop if they're coming from the city to drop off high school students. If you miss it, you're obviously going to have to come down here and turn around, and then you can drop off in front of the building. If you really feel compelled to drop off in front of the building, we're going to ask you to use Route 29A, but you're going to have to go through the entire middle school traffic in order to get there. So again, it's not much of a longer walk to use that other route, and we think that's in the best interest of our students. So here's another scenario. If you're coming from 29A, or you've dropped off a middle school student, or you're just looking to get off the campus and head into the city, say that's where you work, or you're going to visit somebody, or you just choose to enter 29A to drop off your middle school student, and this is an easier way to return home, you will do this. You will head this way. You have no stop signs, and you're going to stay to the left here. The parking lot to the right is for people parking and for people dropping off their student if they're coming from the west. But for us, we're just going to move like this, and this should keep traffic flowing for those who are just simply looking to exit our campus without being bottlenecked. You have the right of way all the way through. Obviously, be careful. It's a school, but people coming out of there have a stop sign, and you will not have construction vehicles as we do right now. And any vehicles coming out of the student lot here to the right will also have a stop sign. And you will be able to re-enter the city of Gloversville in a easy fashion. So this is a scenario if you're driving up Lincoln Street from the city, you do not have a high school student to drop off. You only have a middle school student to drop off, so you're going to go right by the high school drop-off zone. And you're going to stay to the right. Again, you have no stop signs. There is no shoulder here. There's no sidewalk on this part. So this is a two-way thoroughfare. So there will be striping that reflects that, but you will be able to circumvent all drop-offs at the high school without stopping and continue right on down to the middle school. So we're hoping that the new design is going to keep traffic flowing while allowing parents to drop off their students curbside, both at the high school and the middle school, in a safe manner. We're going to have staff out. Our buildings and ground staff will be out at the beginning of the school year to help people navigate these changes, and we'll also have the Gloversville Police Department present to ensure compliance with basic traffic expectations. And this is all in an effort to keep our students and staff safe, as well as obviously parents and guardians as they bring their students to school. Last thing, if you're headed this way, whether you've dropped off your students, and you still have two options of how to exit the campus here, depending on what your destination is. To take a right to head down to Route 29A, you would take a right at the stop sign. Or if you wanted to re-enter the city without going back through Lincoln Street, you can still head this way and exit via Spring Street. Spring Street is a one-way, and that is one way off our campus. So that is the only one-way exit. So there are 2 ways to enter our campus and 3 ways to exit our campus. It's important to note that, as in previous years, all traffic coming up Spring Street here, unless it is a staff member who is going to park in the lot ahead of us, the bus loops are for our school buses that deliver kids to the middle school and high school only, so there will be no through traffic past that parking lot on the right. But obviously, parents and guardians can exit the campus via Spring Street as always.